Hey girl, hey girl, hey, hey girl, hey girl, it's Allison, it's Allison. What y'all think? Y'all like y'all like that intro? No, not too much. It's fine. It's fine. I told y'all I wanted to try something new for season 2, so we're gonna find it. And if you feel like you come up with a better theme song for Hey Girls Allison podcast, please send it my way. We can work on it through GarageBand or whatever. It's so good to be back, you guys. I know I am a week late getting this episode out. Last week I'm not gonna say it was crazy, but I usually try to record a new podcast around the weekend. But this past weekend was my daughter's, I have twin girls, if you didn't know. It was their 4th birthday. And so since we've been out of the country, literally miles and hours away from family, what we decided to do was have a birthday party for them. It's their first birthday party. They had an absolute ball. They said they wanted a piñata, a rainbow party, a bicycle, and a doll. And we knocked all 4 off. So I'm super happy. My husband's super happy. It went really well. It was good to see family. When you live away, you don't really get to see them as often. So it was good for the girls to see their cousins, play with their cousins, see their other grandmother, and spend time with their aunts and uncles, people that have really just seen them grow up through pictures for a while, especially since we were living abroad. So it was good for them to have a birthday party, but it was definitely, y'all know how moms do, y'all know how families do, parents do. We trying to do the most, so we left for Nashville on, what was that, Friday, but all Friday morning we were cleaning the house, making sure the house was clean before we came back. And then got on the road. Luckily, it was only a 4-hour trip, but we got there, had to buy the food, checked into the Airbnb. I stayed up till 1 a.m. decorating, got up Sunday, tried to go find water balloons, couldn't find them nowhere. I don't understand what y'all doing water balloons, but whatever. Water balloons anywhere. Husband had to go pick up the cake. I decorated. Party went on. Supposed to start at 12. People didn't really get there till 1:30. That went till about 4, and then family stayed over till like 9. So I was just over in the kitchen, slumped over, tired, just trying to get my kids to stop eating candy. They don't really give them candy like that, but for their birthday they had some candy, and now they run around here, I just want a piece of candy, please give me some candy. So last weekend was crazy, to say the least. So I'm here, I'm back, and I don't think I'm gonna be long because I'm definitely gonna release another podcast episode this week. Y'all are deserving of that for me being a week off. Remember, we're working on consistency in season 2, baby. Look, I tried to make it rhyme. That was terrible. But anyway, today's episode, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen, if you're not, my Instagram is heygirl_it's Allison, 2 L's and a Y, no I. And don't forget the sun on the back side. That's how I spell my name. Not really. So anyway, I made a post on the 10th of August, and I said, I fought long and hard to be myself. For years, I adjusted my personality, demeanor, style, and even my voice to appease other people. But this version of me is authentic and unapologetic. If you have complaints, just go. I'm not changing for nobody but God, period. And this came from a frustrated place. I was in a frustrated place. I feel like lately, whenever I feel like my personality or who I am isn't well accepted, or if I feel like any hint of, I'm trying to word it in a classy way. If I feel any hint of someone being irritated or frustrated about who I am and why I do the things that I do, especially when I'm not out here doing crazy stuff. But I feel like whenever that happens, like a different side of me rises up, and that side of me is the unapologetic side. Because, and I talked about this, I think in season 1, the beginning of 2020, when I was talking about purpose and I was talking about identity and authenticity. But I literally spent years trying to please so many people, to the point that it got to the, when I let me backtrack. When I got to the place that everything was uncomfortable, and not just uncomfortable, but things were to the place that, like, you ever been so uncomfortable, like at a party or something, and you just say to yourself, I know I'm not supposed to be here. Like, you've been in situations like that before, but like something about this one party, this one incident just says to you, I'm not supposed to be here. And so I got to that point in my life in, I would say 2012, 2013, really 2011, 2012. I got to the point where I looked around and I said, this is not where I'm supposed to be. This is just not it. It just seemed like there was no progression forward where I was. So if you didn't know, I wanted to be an opera singer. Like, I wanted to travel abroad. I wanted to live in Italy. Like right now, I would either be in New York or I would be in Italy. Like, if I had my way, that's where I would be. I would be singing opera. I would just be living my best life. I don't even know if I'd be married. I don't even know if I had kids. I knew they were coming. I wasn't really pressed about when, because the main thing on my mind was me being a professional opera singer and moving to Italy. Like, that was the thing. That was what I was going to do with my life, right? So, but the root of that came from wanting to be liked. The root of that came from when I opened my mouth the first time to sing classically. It was like there was this pull, this gravitational pull that came with it. So I all of a sudden was getting attention that I had never gotten before and that I desired. You know, I feel like a lot of kids, I'm not gonna say all, a lot of kids want to be liked. Like, you want to have friends, you want people to like you, you want people to just, you know, just like you. Like, you want people to be your friend, you want to be a part of a popular group. Like, that's just what you want to do, I think, as you're coming up. And so when I started to sing and this started to happen, I was like, oh, I'm sticking with this. Like, this is getting my name out there. I'm not saying that widespread, but this is getting my name out there. People wanted to be my friend. People wanted to know who I was. And it was like the first time this was really happening outside of close friends, family, and church. Like, these are people my age, a little bit older, people that I consider cool. Like, these people wanted to like hang with me, know more about me, know where I was going. So I was like, oh, I'm definitely sticking with this. Like, this must be what I'm supposed to be out here doing, period. This is it. And so that became my overall desire and goal for my life. Now, this is not to say that I was a bad singer, because I believe I was pretty good. And you can YouTube me if you think I'm trying to talk myself up, whatever. I know I was a good singer. You can YouTube me, Allyson Hankins at the time. But that was what I wanted to do based on the response I was getting. It was based on the likes. It was based on the likes. It was based on the acceptance. It was based on the affirmation that came with it. And so that was what I stuck with. And even though there were ups and downs, and there were times I was like, maybe this isn't it, I just kept pushing my way through because of the response that I was getting. So it wasn't that deep down in my heart of hearts that this is what I wanted to do, but it became something I desired because other people desired it for me. And so I fed into that. So when I got to grad school, and I talked about this story before, I'm not going to go deep into it. I got to grad school and I had nodules, which is like things on your vocal fold that shouldn't be there, and you can't sing until they go away. Like, you have to go through vocal therapy. And so at that moment, I was like, this was supposed to be like my breakout year. Like, I was supposed to be here singing, auditioning, killing the audition. Like, I was supposed to be on stage there and everywhere else over the summer. And you telling me I can't sing? So it was an identity crisis because the thing that I used to identify myself was now taken away from me because of vocal abuse I had suffered, things I was singing I shouldn't have been singing, techniques I shouldn't have been using. And so I had literally had to ask myself, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, if this can just be so easily gone and taken away, and I'm feeling like I don't know who I am, something is wrong. Like, I've let this thing really identify me. I've let this be, when people think of Allyson, this is all they know about. Like, they didn't know I could write. People weren't concerned with me writing. People weren't concerned with me speaking. My desire to work with youth, like, that wasn't something I had really cared about or even catered to, even though it was something that over the years I started to see that I was pretty good at, but I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. But when the time came where I couldn't sing anymore, it was like, okay, I need to find what I'm really supposed to be doing. Because in this moment that I don't have a singing voice, I literally feel like I have no voice. And so I had to go on a journey, and that journey honestly started with God. I had to go back to the manufacturer and say, hey, yo, if that's not it, then you got to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. Because if I'm not supposed to be in Italy in 10 years, then where am I supposed to be, Lord? And he began to show me, and he started with the question, without the likes and the affirmations and the congratulations, who would I be? And I had no idea. I had no way to separate who Allyson was and my identity from what I did. And that's a big topic that we will definitely have to discuss another podcast. But I was identifying myself with what I did. And then when what I did was taken away, I no longer had self. I no longer knew who I was. And so I began this whole journey of really trying to figure out and hear God and understand what I was really supposed to be doing. And I decided that singing was not it. And it was so interesting when I made the decision. It was like, man, I had gone through all these crazy situations just to sing, to end up saying, I don't even want to sing. Like when I was talking in my post, how I literally changed my voice. I had a voice teacher my junior or my sophomore year, and I switched voice studios just to, because I was like, this is my old studio. I said to myself, this is not where I want to be. Like, I need to go to another studio. I wasn't getting solos in the choir because my choir director didn't like my voice teacher, so I changed. And she said, your speaking voice is way too low for you to be a soprano. So she was like, you need to start talking up here. If you want to get solos, if you want, to really be the soprano you said you want to be, you need to really start talking up here. And so I did. Like, I was literally walking around talking like this. This is how I was trying to have conversations. And when I changed voice studios, I got moved to the soprano section and I got a solo, but still couldn't sing because that was not my voice. But I was trying to change my voice to appease my choir director, to appease my voice teacher at the time, so that I would identify myself as a soprano, when really this is the speaking voice that I've always had. I have family members that speak on the same, same timbre, same pitch that I do, and have sang higher and have sang lower. So I had literally changed my voice for almost a whole year. I was literally walking around talking like this because I was told that this was the healthier way for me to talk as a soprano if I was going to be respected as such. But the thing was, that was hurting my voice too. That wasn't even healthy for my speaking, nor was it healthy for my singing. We had a tour. I'll never forget that spring tour. We went on tour. I didn't have a voice half the tour because I was speaking like this the entire time, and really it was making me hoarse, and it wasn't healthy for me to speak. So I literally tried to change my voice to make somebody else happy. I was part of different friend groups, and so I was changing literally who I was when I was with certain groups of people. I was becoming who they needed me to be instead of being my authentic self. And so if you needed me to be funny, I could be funny. I could crack jokes. If you needed me to cuss like a sailor sometime and be a little, let the little Detroit come out, whatever, I could be her too. If you wanted me to talk about music and classical music and talk about spirituals and things of that nature, talk about singing, I could do that as well. And if you wanted me to talk about God and you really wanted me to just get into my testimony and who he was and who he had called me to be, I could be that girl too. Like, see how my voice, like I knew I was shapeshifter out here. Transform, well, probably not transformer. No, transformer. I'm a transformer. I could scan the room. Which personality do I like best? Who's everybody flocking to in this little circle? Okay, they flocking to you. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna act like her with a little bit of me, not too much though, because if I reveal too much of myself, I may not fit in as well as everybody needs me to. So let me be a little bit of her and a little bit of her and a little bit of me, and then maybe put in a little bit of what I see on Instagram, and then maybe, just maybe, I could fit into this group. And so I was literally, and then when I was in counseling, after my dad died, I told that to my counselor. I said, I literally feel like I am walking around with different masks and I put them on for different occasions and for different people. And I'm not my authentic self. And in trying to discover who I was, I really did not know, because I had been playing pretend for so long. When you said, who is Allyson? I really didn't know. I knew what she looked like in different circles. I knew the mask that she had on in different circles. But as far as who I authentically was, even who I was with everybody across the board, who that even Allyson was, there was none. There wasn't one. It was whatever group you're a part of, you're in the group with Allyson, that's the Allyson that you're gonna get. She's not able to be authentic everywhere, because I was afraid to show my true self out of fear that it would be rejected. And I feel like many of us go through this. We don't always show 100% of our authentic self out of fear of rejection. And sometimes it's because when we did try to show our authentic self, it was rejected. When we did try to be vulnerable, we did try to show, a deeper part of our heart, it was either abused or it was rejected. And so we tell ourselves, sometimes that happens very young. Sometimes we tell ourselves, I'll never show that piece of myself again. Or we say, man, I can't be my authentic self because it's going to be rejected. People can't accept it. People think I'm weird. People think that I'm not cool. People think that I can't hang with the cool kids, or people think they can't invite me over to their houses. So let me hide that authentic piece of myself and let me transform into whatever they need me to be, so that way I can fit with who they need me to be, so that way they want me to come along. But the issue with that is people are never satisfied. Even me, I'm never satisfied. So it gets to the point that if you're trying to appease me or you're trying to appease a person, you're always going to be shape-shifting, because the people are never happy. The people are always going to want you to change something or be somebody else, and you get tired trying to make everybody happy by trying to shape-shift into what they need you to be. And don't belong to multiple groups, multiple social groups with multiple interests. Then you're shape-shifting all the time based on who you're around. It's not healthy. It doesn't feel good. It's not something that any of us should be doing on a day-to-day basis, but we do it. And many times we stay in it because we feel like that's what we deserve. We feel like we don't know anything else outside of being phony, being fake, not being authentic. And we say to ourselves, well, I've already pretended for this long. If I try to be authentic, people are going to call me fake. Or if I try to be authentic, I'm going to lose the fans. I'm going to lose the money. I'm going to lose the sponsorships. And so you have people that are living lives unhappily, but because they feel like they've gotten themselves in a hole that they can't get out of, they live this false life. And they end up hating their everyday life. You see people all the time that have money, fame, people loving them, following them. They're an influencer, all of this, and they're depressed and they're down and they're over it and they want to take their life because they don't value it, because it's not authentically theirs. It's something that they created to get a certain reaction, to get people to love them, to get people to become their fans. But once they wake up one day and realize this is not who I want to be, I've compromised who I am, I've compromised what I want to do in this lifetime, But then they say to themselves, do I want to take the chance to be authentic and lose what I have? Or do I want to stay in this place, continue to compromise, be angry with the life I've created, but still have the money and the lifestyle? And many times, out of fear of losing, people end up staying there, someone that's not who they are. They end up staying someone that's not their authentic self. And they end up being so unhappy. But it has to get to the point where you say, I want to live authentically as myself. There's more time in front of me than there is behind me. And if I lose people, it doesn't matter. That's why I said in my post, if you have complaints at this stage of my life where I've decided to be authentically me, where I decided to be unapologetically me, then you can just go, because I've learned to value me over valuing your opinion. And the culture that we live in now values people's opinion more than more than people value themselves. I would rather compromise who I am for your opinion versus me living as my authentic self and being able to sleep soundly at night because I haven't compromised who I am and because I decided to live authentically as myself. To the point that I love me and I love God more than I love what you could ever say about me, because your words mean nothing. And when you get to the point that people's words mean nothing, you're unafraid to say you can leave. If you don't love the authentic me, the one that I fought hard to get to, bye. It's people that I was talking to all the time. It's people that were always commenting on my posts and things like that when I was in the music world, when I was in that circle. When I stepped back, when I stopped doing that, I haven't heard from more than half of them. And now I'm not shading them. I'm not saying I can't stand them. I'm not saying they phony, they fake. No, but they were in love with that Allyson. But when that Allyson stepped back and said, that's not really me, let me go figure out what God has really called me to do. Let me figure out what my authentic purpose is on the planet. They didn't want that Allyson, and that's okay. And you have to be fine with people saying, I don't like who you've become. That's fine. I love who I've become. I love the fact that I've gotten back to my authentic self. If you don't like it, that's okay. You can go. And I send you with blessings, and I have a smile on my face, because really, truthfully, it's okay that you go. Because if you stay, all I'm going to hear is complaining. If you stay, you're not going to like anything I say. And I would rather not hear from you and us end on this wonderful note, and us ending this friendship or whatever, this relationship, whatever it is. I'd rather us end it on this good note where it's mutual versus me having to kick you out later. I'd rather do that than to sit and try to put myself through listening to you complain and nag about who I'm not. And me sitting here going back and forth, should I be that person for them and just be my authentic self everywhere else? No, I'm not going to compromise my authenticity for your comfortability. I'm not going to do that. So either you're going to get on board and you're going to accept it. That's fine. You can accept it in pieces. You can hit the snooze button on Facebook on our friendships if you want to snooze me for 30 days and come back. You can unfollow me as a friend on Facebook or Instagram. That's fine, because this Allyson is not going anywhere. When the sun decides to shine brighter in the summer, you don't look up at the sun and try to command it to shine less than it is. What do? You get out your sunscreen, you get out that cute sundress, you get out those cute shades, you go get your hair put in braids, or you do something with it to get it out of your hair so you don't sweat because of the sun, and you deal with the sun when you step outside. See me as the sun. When you see me shining in a certain area and it's an unfamiliar light to you, you can do one of two things. You stay inside because you don't want to be in the heat. You don't want to see that light shining too bright. Or you're going to get that sunscreen, put on that cute sundress, put on a smile, put on your favorite shades, and bask in the light that I have. The light that I am finally possessing. It's always funny to me when people get upset with you for changing instead of encouraging you to continue on that path because they see it makes you happy. People don't like change so much, even if it's for the greater good, even if it's for my personal benefit. I will appreciate you either walking out if you can't handle the change, but it would be so much nicer if you embrace the change that I'm making and say, I'm going to support you wherever you go because I see that it's bringing you joy, because I see you finally being authentic, because I see a genuine smile on your face. Those are the people we look to keep around. Those are the people you should look to keep around. But it should never get to the point where you are compromising who you are and your personality to make everybody else happy. We're done doing that in 2020. Listen, you've been in the house, you ain't been around people for real. You've been on social media. Maybe you've gone live on Instagram a few times. I don't know, maybe you've done TikTok dances. But this has to be a time where you self-reflect and say, am I the person I want to be? Not am I the person they want me to be? Am I the person I want to be at the end of the day? Have I compromised in any way? When I first stepped out into the adult world and I said, these are my standards, have I compromised on those in any way? And if I have, why did I do it? And if you know why you did it, are you going to stop doing it? Or are you going to continue out of fear of losing? That's my challenge to you. While we're still in this mini quarantine, do a self-reflection. Self-analyze where you are. Have you compromised yourself? Have you gone against what you believe in just for other people to be happy? And if you have, I challenge you to begin to seek out who you authentically are. Who are you really? Who has God really called you to be? What is your authentic purpose on this planet? What is the reason you're alive now and not 500 years ago? Why are you here in this generation, during this time, during coronavirus, doing all this chaos in the world? Why are you still here? Why are you still alive? I promise you it's not because you compromised who you are. It's not because of the mistakes you continue to make so that other people will find you funny or amusing, or people will continue to buy your things, or people will continue to follow you on Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and TikTok. It's not because of that. Why are you still here? What are you supposed to be doing? When everything finally opens back up, are you going to emerge the same compromising person? Or are you going to emerge authentic and yourself? Uncompromising, unwavering based on how the world changes, because the world is always going to and fro. How are you going to come out of this pandemic? How are you going to come out of quarantine? The same? The you that spread amongst different people, the you that still has to carry masks with you everywhere you go to pretend to be someone you're not? Or are you going to emerge with the true light that's on the inside of you, that cause people to put on shades or stay inside? Are you going to be the you that you know deep down you've always been destined to be, yet you've been afraid to do it out of fear of what people would say, out of fear of not being accepted and being rejected? Who are you going to step out of this being? That's my challenge to you today. Think about it. All right? If I have any moms listening before I go, Mom Chats is every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also added some international numbers. Be sure you go and register. Mom Chats has been amazing. Moms have been able to release some burdens that have been on them. We've been able to laugh together, talk together, compare mom notes, figure out different strategies, what works for one kid, what doesn't work for some kids, funny stories, crazy stories, and even just sharing our hearts and the troubles we've endured as moms. If that sounds like something you want to be a part of, head to my website, heygirlintl.com. It'll show up right when you get to the website on the banner. Click it, register, it's free. It's only an hour, or it's only supposed to be an hour. But I'd love to have you join me. Thank you for listening to my podcast today. I would love for you to share it, subscribe, like, download it, leave a review. And thank you for checking me out. If you have any ideas for my theme song, I am all ears. Okay? Send me some songs. Send me some melodies from heaven. No, I'm just playing. All right, y'all. Peace.